The Fox Wife, written by Beatrice Deer. One cloudless, starry night with no one in sight, a fox fell from the sky and landed on its four legs on a soft, mossy land. She was a very pretty fox, with sharp, slanted dark eyes and a coat of thick, flawless red fur. The fox licked the fur of her paws straight and went on her way, exploring her new environment. And as she was walking along the hills, her sharp ears caught a new sound from the distance, a sound that was not the white buntings chirping she had been hearing as she walked. Curiously and cautiously, she went towards the strange noise. Before she saw where the noise was coming from, she caught a scent on the wind that she had never smelled before. She was even more intrigued. Peering from behind a lichen-covered rock, she saw a family, each member standing on their 2 feet, setting up camp. They were humans, a woman with her husband and 2 sons. The woman was carrying her younger child and her amauti. The fox had never seen such a beautiful garment. The caribou skin amauti was an ivory color with silver edges of ringed seal fur. The hood was lined with a beautiful dark fur. The fox was mesmerized. The fox watched as the family set up their camp. The man held up some long driftwood while his wife draped many sealskins sewn together over the wood to make a tent. The boy placed large stones that he had moved away earlier to hold the tent down all along the bottom edges. The fox couldn't take her eyes off the amauti. When she finally looked the other way, her eyes immediately met the older boy's eyes, and she was startled. He had been quietly standing, watching the unaware fox. The fox ran away. The next time she followed the family, she would be more careful not to be seen. Seasons came and went, and the fox continued to follow the family from a distance as they moved camp each season. The boy saw her face from time to time, but the fox made sure not to get too close. And she was a smart one. She learned the ways of the humans over time. One day it was time for the boy to leave his family and hunt on his own. He was a young man now. Irnik set out on his own, with the fox following far behind. The fox watched curiously as Irnik stopped to make a fire and boil water from the nearby lake in a small pot. He was going to make some tea. Irnik set up his tent. After a long day and a chilly night hunting for seal, the lone young man returned to his camp. But he found his tent clean and lit. Where has this cooked fish come from? And who made my tea? Am I dreaming? Irnik enjoyed the food and the tea that had been left for him, and with a satisfied stomach, he went to sleep. The next day, Irnik woke up with a plan. He would pretend to go out on the land and hide behind a rock to see what happened around his camp. After a while, he saw a fox enter his tent, and he slipped in after her with very quiet steps. And there stood a woman looking at the hunter. Irnik thought he had seen those eyes before, but he wasn't certain. Are you the one who's been doing all the work for me while I've been gone? Yes, I am your wife, and it is my duty to do these things. Why? Is something wrong? Not wanting to be alone, Irnik decided to accept her answer and keep her as his wife. Still, he wondered, what had happened to the fox? The hunter and the fox woman lived together, Irnik bringing home his catch and the fox woman proud of the sealfish and caribou that he caught. She gladly cleaned the caribou and sealskins to make clothing. and she prepared the meat neatly and stored it in its caches. After some time, the hunter noticed something that the foxwoman couldn't hide. There was a musky smell about her. What is that musky smell? I do not know. It's not coming from me. But Ernie couldn't stop complaining. Where is that musky smell coming from anyway? I'm going outside for some fresh air. I can't stand this odor anymore. Irritated and hurt, the foxwoman did not say a word. Soon, Ernie went away hunting for several days. And while he was gone, the foxwoman decided she no longer wanted to stay where she was judged for the way she was, for she had no control over how she was created. She put her fox skin back on. If he doesn't like the musky scent I have, then he will not like the real me. And so she decided to walk away instead of being honest. She was too afraid to show him her real form. The fox quietly slipped out onto the tundra. As she was about to go over the hill, she heard her husband calling, and she turned around, looking back at the hunter, right into his eyes. Are you the fox I've seen following me ever since I was just a boy? Come back! But the fox's mind was made up, and nothing could change it. From her stare in that moment, he understood. She kept going, and she never returned.